Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate, with host Glenn Sutherland.
Welcome to another episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. This week, my guest is Mat Bourgoin. Did I say that right?
No.
Say your name properly for me.
Mat Bourgoin.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for coming on the show. I've talked to you a bunch of times online, and we both go on the same... What's that Facebook group called that we do when I post all the stuff?
It's the Canadian buying U.S. real estate.
Yeah, so if anyone's listening and they want to see our stuff, like I'm a regular poster on that Facebook group, so it's Canadian buying U.S. real estate, and it's Matt's group, but I post lots of stuff on there too. You're buying in the States as well, so I guess we'll start with what market are you in? Where are you buying?
Well, I do like buying old, mostly. With my coach, like we really focus on the cash flow. That's why he told me like all the time, like cash flow is like the best. Like you're always gonna have like some money into like your bank account, and like flip are really hard, especially like at a young age, and like being like outside of the country too.
Yeah.
So that's what I was focusing on, was really buying old, and after that start to do like single family home, and I just like start like last year like to do commercial.
Oh, okay. So when you say commercial, you mean like the multifamily, or you mean like a business?
Mobile home park. So
okay.
I bought in June one mobile home park in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking to buy like another one soon, hopefully.
Awesome. And I'm a big fan of like Kevin Bupp, so I know all about like the mobile home park stuff. And it's like there's a lot of advantages there, right? Like you're not dealing with like toilets and a lot of the same sort of stuff, right? You're just renting plots of land mostly, right? I guess some people rent. Do you have trailers that they rent from you, or do the tenants own all the trailers?
No, I think like for my park right now, all the tenants, they own the home. I think it's better. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so easier. Like when you have like a park manager, it's only like you only collect the check and that's it. Like we make sure that we do the snow removal, like that we do like couple like cleaning during the summertime. But except that, it's pretty easy too. Like it's pretty nice like to have like this like cash flow coming in.
Yeah.
You just need to keep your tenants happy, and they don't really trash their place because they own their place. So it's pretty good. And we me and my partner, we're too into that. We do have like a lot of space, so it's good. Like we always like can bring like new mobile home and do like rent to own to them, and find like nice like tenants who want to do rent to own. And again, they can be like the new American dream.
So when you're doing rent to own, what kind of deposit do you ask from the tenants? Like, how much money do they have to come up with?
Well, I usually ask like for 6% of the purchase price, and after that we do like usually 5 years, so like 3 years. It depends. Like mobile home park are like a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
When I do single family home, I ask a little bit more. I did like a rent to own last year in September. So I sold the property for $30,000, and I asked him like for $5,000 down, and the interest was like 6% on a 5-year amortization.
So do you only buy in that state, or you buy in different states?
Well, I started in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Where about like right now I do own like 10 properties over there. I just like recently purchased like 3 property. I just sold like one right before Christmas, which is a really good like Christmas gift to me. But yeah, the first property I bought with my partner, that was in Daytona in Florida. And after that, we decided like to move to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a good market. I always say like Pittsburgh is like the fat chicks in the 6th grade that you never see coming in during the secondary. Like she ended up like beautiful. So yeah, like Pittsburgh is a good market for us, and like it's really cheap. We own also like a 19 unit also close in Memphis.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
I love Pittsburgh. I've been to Pittsburgh a bunch of times. It's like there's all these like pubs on the water. It's like I love like cities with lots of water, and like, and that Pittsburgh is all water, like rivers all through it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're.
I think for me, like Pittsburgh, it's a sport town. So I like to go see like the baseball and like the Steelers also for the football.
Yep.
The Penguins, and they won the cup, so at least.
Yeah, I went down there, I guess it was 4 years ago, and I went and saw them in the playoffs, the Penguins. I guess why Pennsylvania? What was the? I guess Pennsylvania. You're in a bunch of different spots. Is there certain things that you look for in certain markets, or are you just looking for the numbers, or what takes you to the property?
Well, I was looking for like a market was like kind of like cheap. I didn't like want to go like to California because that was like too expensive. And at the point of my career, I had the knowledge and I had like everything like to start my business, and I was ready to roll, but I was missing cash. So I started with my partner. He owned the restaurant. So upstairs there's a private room. So I was thinking like, if we have like the knowledge and everything, we don't have the cash, why not like share the knowledge, and maybe we can find like someone who wants to invest into our business. So that's what I did. I did like a couple meetup, like the website www.meetup.com, and I started that like 3 years ago, and we actually found like one private investor, and that's how we found our first deal. And after that, we just like keep on rolling, and that was like the first bot that we did. That was like cash.
Yep.
So that's why we went to Pittsburgh, because like the price, I bought like the duplex for like 22,000.
What?
So yeah.
Wow.
I bought the duplex for 22,000. We had to put a new roof on it, so that was like 7,000 more, and like both sides were like rented out for like 650, and the tenants paid all the utilities. So that was pretty good pretty good return on investment.
Yeah. On
the first deal.
Well, if you can find anything for 22,000 and people will actually rent it, then you're way ahead. So.
Yeah. The second priority I bought in Pittsburgh, I bought it for 5,000.
Wow.
And that was on Abraham Street. That was like someone, I think there was like old guy who died, and his son was in Texas. So I meet up with this wholesaler, and he said like, well, I can sell you the house like for 5,000 if you like. So I was like pretty stoked about it, and the return was like pretty good. So we ended up like cleaning a little bit the house, like not too much. We put like a new roof on the veranda on the way back. But like I still got like this property, and right now there's like a tenant for $700, and you pay like all utility and everything. So basically, it's really good cash flowing property for sure.
Wow. So do you usually find all your deals through wholesalers, or?
Most of the deal I find it with wholesaler, but for the mobile home park, I do use a strategy that post ad on Craigslist that I'm looking to buy like mobile home park and stuff like that, and people like actually like call me back and say like, hey, I do have like this mobile home park, I'm ready to sell, I'm ready to retire, how can we do that, how can we like arrange something? So I changed my mindset, so like I don't like do cold calling. I have people calling me, and it's pretty successful. Like I hired like a virtual assistant in Indonesia, so she can like do like all the marketing as well.
That's excellent. So for you, for your financing, are you getting American financing?
Well, all my property are bought by cash or with private lenders. So I usually do like subject to. So I bought like 7 property. I think that was like 1 year ago, subject to. So the private lender was actually the seller. So I get like the loan. Like the interest is pretty high, but it's still.
Yeah.
it's still like a free loan, so I don't really complain about it. And yeah, it's good. Right now, I do have like my tax and everything, so I'll be able like to go to the bank. Otherwise, I was thinking about using or money lender or something like that if like a good deal come up.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm kind of doing myself. I'm buying them in cash and then refinancing out of them so that I can buy another one. And ideally, I'm doing renos now, so then I can build the equity and basically get all of my money back and redo it again.
Yeah, for sure, but you need to be careful. Like to refinance a property, they need to have like a property over like 50K.
Yes.
So. Yeah. It's sometimes like people think they can refinance everything, but it's really hard. Like they have like the bigger part, like the bank, like know what's good, what's not, and you need to be careful when you do your due diligence, like when you buy a property. But
yeah,
mostly.
I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of times it's 50K is not even necessarily the bottom. It's like 50K loan is the bottom, and they're going to loan at like 70% loan to value or 80% loan to value. So you really need like a property to be worth like 70K to even get a 50K loan on the property is what I've been finding. One way I did find a way around this is to do a portfolio loan. So if I put a couple properties together and then ask for like, usually the minimum for a portfolio loan is like $250,000, so $250,000, and then I can pump a bunch of properties together, and that's how I can slip in some of my cheap ones. And so I have a bunch around $100,000, some in 75s, and I have one that's just 42, and that way I can put them all together. Anyway, sidetrack anyway.
Well, no, it's a good strategy. Just like sometimes like the beginner are really blown away by like it's so cheap. You can buy property for 10,000, 15,000. But like at the same time, like your cash is frozen for like a period of time. So that's what happened with my duplex. I just sold it right before like Christmas. So. Well, again, like that was like a lot of money, like the 22,000 that I invested into it. Like I was frozen for like for 3 years around.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful.
So when you're buying these like really cheap homes, do you get like you're going to be in a like a D neighborhood or something, right? You're not going to be in a top neighborhood. Is it? Am I wrong there or?
No, you're correct. You're correct. I'm not like in the best neighborhood, but. You know, like in the States, it's block by block. So I try to buy property like where I know that it's safe. But again, you never know. It's the U.S. Funny story. I had my property. I do have like 3 property on the same street on Abraham, and I call it the Red Devil. It's one property that I bought for 5,000, and I keep out like I like some issue with that. Like always like having like new issue. But at one point, I still made money, so I'm still good with that. But yeah, I think that was like in September when I was trying to sell it, and my property manager called me, and I was at work, and he called me back like a lot of time, like repeatedly. Yeah. So I answered the phone. He's like, "Matt, we do have a problem." So I'm like, "Okay, what's happening?" He's like, "Someone shot someone in your house." So I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I just sent you the link. Go check it out. So actually, the my tenant who I screened and like everything was perfect. Like yeah, like no like background, like no nothing like to worry about. Shot his grandfather with a shotgun in the house, and I was actually like trying to sell this property. So first thing popped in my mind, I'm like, I'm screwed. Like I'm not gonna be able like to sell that property. So I'm like, wow.
No.
So I'm like,
the mess too.
Yeah, where's the tenant and everything? So like, well, right now he's in jail. So I'm like, okay, what was the damage and everything? It's like, oh, there's like a couple all in the living room and everything. So I'm like, okay, all right. So 1 week after, I was supposed like to go like to Pittsburgh to just do like maintenance check, just like do a routine and like see like all the properties. And I got like this call like from one guy. He said like, I'm buying your property. Like, okay, you sure? Yeah, buying a party. Like, are you coming to Pittsburgh? I'm like, oh, actually, I'm coming to Pittsburgh in 1 week. That would be a good thing. Like, so I met up with the guy, and right before I met with him, I like to clean like the blood because like we didn't like watch anything, and I had like this like massive hole in the living room, like kind of like big one, like from from the shotgun. So like 10 minutes, like literally like 10 minutes before like the buyer come in, I was like brushing like blood in the into the carpet. I was like, am I allowed to do that? Like the
So like the other thing is like your tenant's in jail, so can you, I don't know what the laws are like in Pennsylvania, can you just give the property to somebody else now? Like, do they lose their rights to the property?
yeah. Like the guy will, the guy like will never come back. Like I take this deposit and everything, and well, it's bad. Like again, he should have thought twice before showing his grandfather or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was pretty happy that the buyer actually loved it, and he said like you should just like paint it, and after that. And he saw the shotgun, but he never said anything. So I'm like, literally, in the U.S., you're not obligated to say like there's like a murder or something like that. But again, like the grandfather didn't die in the house, so basically I'm legit, I think. Canada, you need to say it before like saying it. But like in the U.S., I check with my agent, and you don't need to sell it. So the guy still. I do like a rent to own with this property, and like the guy like didn't say anything, and I paint like all the living room white, so doesn't seem like there's like a murder. That was a murder.
And what are the numbers like on that house? Like, what did you buy it for, and what did you sell it for?
I bought it for 5,000, but I put like a lot of money into it. Like I had like some electricity. First, my first tenant, there was a lady. And when she moved in, like literally like 2 days after, one of the pipe in the living room burst, and like all the water went into the living room. And she said like, "Okay, I'm out. I don't want to live here." So I'm like, "Okay." So I need to find like my property manager. I need to find like a new tenant. And after that, we had like the furnace. I had to change it. The water tank too. We had some issue with the. Actually, I had an issue with my former property manager because I was ordering to have like tile, like the Home Depot tiles that you buy, like they're like that 1 feet by half a feet. They're pretty nice. I was putting that in the living room, so everything was set.
Okay.
And my property manager actually like sent me like a picture with like the living room with like carpet on it. So I'm like, "Where's my tile?" She's like, "Well, I think they put carpet on top of your tiles." So I'm like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
So they didn't talk to each other, like the maintenance guy and everything. So they put the tiles into the living room, and after that they put brand new carpet on top. So I was like, "What the heck?" So, I was pretty pissed about it, but again, like she didn't charge me the carpet. So
okay.
Again,
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but down there they love their carpet. They always want to throw carpet down everything. I always want to get all the carpet out. I want like laminate or hardwood or some sort of solid wood floor so that I don't have to keep replacing it every other tenant, you know?
I know it's a big issue for sure. They love carpet. They love carpet everywhere. Like if they can have like carpet in the bathroom, I think they will do it.
I've seen that. So I guess you put a lot of work in it. So did you still turned a profit on the whole thing? You made more than it cost?
Yeah. I sold a property for like 30,000, and it was like 5 years at 8%. So I'm still gonna make money with the interest and everything.
Oh, okay.
And I bought the property for 5,000. Basically, I think the paperwork were worth more than the actual house, which is crazy.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually a great way to sell some of these properties, just to sell them with seller financing, and people are more willing to take them, right? Because that's the big problem that people are going to have for these cheap properties is finding financing.
Of course, and it can be a niche. Like right now I do have like another one that we'll do in April. That's a tenant that she loves so much the house that she said like, can I buy it? So I'm like, yeah, sure. And give her like an offer and everything. And that's the thing, like under 50,000 is barely impossible like to get financing. So if you're like me, you're buying like those property like under 50,000, you just make sure that you're buying the right property. You can put a tenant into it and like just put back into the market and like just get like a new rent to own tenant after a year.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
You have cash flow, you always have like money going into your bank account, and yeah, that's good. It's now like I can enjoy like my time in Puerto Vallarta and like don't really worry about working anymore.
Yeah. One thing before that, I just like you were mentioning like the low properties. A thing I found is whenever you're doing the title transfer, like when you're using the title company, if you look at the HUD documents, it's not like Canada where everything's like private, where they're not showing you like the other side of the whole equation, where you can actually see who their lender is if they have a lender on it. So my property that I bought for 42, I could see the lender on it, and I actually called up the company, and they were gonna give the loan, like let's transfer the loan to me, but then they found out I was Canadian, and then it buggered the whole deal up. But otherwise, they were ready to play ball with if I had a social security number, but I don't. So they didn't have a foreign national program. But anyways, it could work with some of the lenders because they're interested in it. And you mentioned Puerto Vallarta, like you're in Mexico now, right?
Yeah, Mexico. Like it's been my third day now in Mexico.
Yeah,
enjoying the weather. Like I think right now it's like 25 degrees.
Yeah, and tell them the big news. You just told me before we went on the air. Like you just left your job and now you're going on vacation.
Yeah, I was in the restoration business since I was like 17 years old, and I officially quit my job last December to be full-time investor in the US. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm enjoying, like right now, I'm taking some time off. Like it was kind of like the Armageddon in the restaurant for the last December. So I like to sell property. I had to buy property at the same time that like planning like my trip. So it was like pretty big month, but I passed through, and right now I can enjoy like cerveza and take it easy.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's the goal for a lot of us, right?
Yeah, sure. But it's a good thing that that's one of my credo is like to show people that you can do it. Like you can do it by. I mean, in the US, if you're Canadian, it's even like faster if you're buying like US real estate because there's like way more problem. You have like way more issue in the US, so it's easier for us as a Canadian like to resolve them. Like there's like so many like property that's it's crazy. Like it's flow like I can go like to Kansas City and find like new property, but if you go like to Montreal or Vancouver, it's like really hard like to find like good cash flowing property. It's even like impossible in Vancouver or like other like major city like Toronto. But in any like Midwest town, it's really easy like to find like good cash flowing property that you can have like easy 15% over like for your ROI.
Yep, no, I totally agree. It's you can still do it here, but it's just a lot harder. It's just easier to find deals because there's so many distressed houses, there's so many wholesalers. It's just the property prices are cheaper. It's just easier, right? Like you can still do it here, but you're going to be doing a lot more hustle, right? It's just a simpler process, which it sounds backwards because everyone's so intimidated by crossing the border, but
well, it's really hard like to navigate into like all the kind of like legal and stuff like that. But if you do have like a good attorney and a good team back you up, it's really easy. And you can find like good property. And what I like about the US is like it's far away, but at one point you don't get emotional about your party.
Nope.
I do have like a couple of my friends, they're like in Montreal and they're like always thinking about like their apartment, or they always like going to like this little stuff and stuff like that. But me, I do have my party manager. If there's like any problem, they will call him, and after that he will call me back, and there's like less stress about it. And it's good. Like Funny and deal in the US, it's easy.
Yep.
You just find like a deal, and it's like Tinder. You swipe, and you got a good deal. And that's the thing. Like you don't really see it because you're like too far away. So you really focus on the number and like making your due diligence and everything, so you don't get emotional about it. So you take like a right decision.
Yep. Totally agree. Well, I think we're up for time. That was a great interview. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're probably going to have you on like every half year or so just to get an update. And I even wrote down some notes of different topics we could go side tangent on. We had tons of stuff, so we didn't even need to go there. But thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks. I'll see you later, man.
All right,
bye.
Thanks.